Hi, this is Lawrence.
And Yinka.
We've got another episode in our anniversary series today. We are doing a Draw My Life version of our relationship, starting with how we met and then our marriage and our subsequent moving. Yinka is going to be doing all the drawing today, so do leave a comment down below letting us know how you think she did.
Okay, so let's get into it. We met around Christmas time of 2016. I remember it was Christmas time because I just left a work Christmas party and then we'd gone to the local Wetherspoons for a few drinks. And I remember looking across and seeing some of my colleagues who are new to the country talking to some locals. And I just thought, if they're so new, how have they made friends already? So I just kind of wandered over and asked them, who's your friend? And it was really funny because one of these colleagues, she's quite a tall girl, and she said, I basically just saw this tall guy, so I thought I'd just come over because I'm also tall. So they didn't actually know him.
No.
And that him was Lawrence. So they eventually wandered off and I just carried on talking to him. And it was just a really natural conversation because he's always been a very good listener. He's just very calm and chilled, whereas I always have a million things to say. So at the end of that evening, I guess he thought it went okay as well, and he enjoyed the time because he did ask me for my number. He was really good and messaged me the next day, and we kind of chatted non-stop. We eventually went on our first date. Apparently when I was in the bathroom, one of my colleagues asked Lawrence if he was a Christian, even before I'd managed to kind of bring it up. So I think he knew already then that was something quite important to me. And it was kind of the reason why it took us quite a while to become official. So we didn't actually become official boyfriend and girlfriend until later on in the new year, maybe around spring, when he did become a Christian. And I basically was super excited, obviously because he's a Christian, and also because it meant that he could be my boyfriend. But yeah, in those early days, we did still get to know each other. We went on lots of dates. Open mics were kind of our big thing that we go on every Thursday, and you made me a very nice promise that one day you would do an open mic.
One day.
So yeah, we had some really good dates. It kind of coincided with me turning 25, and I had a bit of a quarter-life crisis and decided to make a bucket list of things I wanted to do, which kind of then triggered lots of really fun dates. So we climbed Mount Snowdon together, went on the London Eye, went to Bird World because I have a huge fear of birds. So I thought, let me go with a big strong man in case all these birds try and attack me. And best case scenario, I leave and I have no fear of birds anymore. What actually happened was that we saw pelicans. Pelicans are freaky. Their beaks could swallow a 5-year-old whole. It's terrifying. So didn't go with my fear, but we had a good day anyway. So yeah, those early days were really good fun.
It was around the time of Yinka turning 25 that she got the job in Sweden, and yeah, we had to make the decision of kind of what we were doing, if we were going to do long distance, and we decided we were going to do it after a long talk up at the mountain, Guildford, looking over the town. And August 1st, you moved to Sweden. That started our long distance relationship. So yeah, we had a lot of Skype dates. We went to see each other quite frequently. Thankfully, London to Malmo wasn't that long. It was about an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah, just under 2 hours. And I think because the time difference was only 1 hour, video call was really easy for us.
Yeah, we had a lot of video calls, a lot of chats, and then we would watch movies together at the same time. We would play Scrabble online.
We just got to know each other a lot more because you are talking. You can't really rely on body language or dates necessarily. You just get to talk so much.
We had a lot of structured conversations through using like dating books, which were really useful.
They're really useful for preparing us for marriage.
Definitely.
Which will let me segue into the next part of our story, which is the proposal. I had a school break coming up, and Lawrence had basically told me to leave a few days free. So I thought maybe he wanted to come out and visit me, maybe surprise me in Sweden. And then a few days before that break came up, he just told me to check my email, and I saw that he had emailed me a boarding pass to Prague. A few days later, I met him in Prague, and we were on a walk around the city. He took me to this island.
Shooters Island.
Shooters Island. And there was just this really nice scene behind us. So we decided to ask this couple to take a photo of us. And they took the photo. Lawrence went over. I thought he was going to bring it back. He came back without it.
The camera, that is.
Yeah, he came back without the camera. So I thought it was just a bad photo and they're going to take it again. I went to just pose again, ready to get my picture taken. And I suddenly just saw this movement from the corner of my eye. So I looked to my left and he was just down on one knee. He looked absolutely petrified, so sick. I'm sure you felt that way as well.
Yeah, the stress of the planning the trip and at the moment, it got to me.
So much so that he actually forgot to ask, will you marry me? He was just kind of looking at me with his puppy dog eyes and the ring box open. And as sorry as I felt for him, because I could tell how nervous he was, that was my one and only opportunity to be proposed to, and I was not going to let him get away with not saying it. So I just kind of raised my eyebrows at him, like, yeah, I'm waiting.
I can't remember if you actually said anything.
I didn't say anything.
But I could see your eyes saying, well, go on then.
Yeah, what am I answering to?
Yeah.
So eventually he managed to get it out, and of course I said yes. After being super happy together, we then faced a tiny bit of an awkward moment.
Tiny awkward. Yeah.
With the other couple that was taking our photo, because right before we kind of agreed, you take our photo, we'll take yours. So after all this, I said, okay, she'll take your photo now. And they kind of just gave us an awkward,
No, thank you.
no, thank you. Basically, it's hard to describe it, but we could kind of tell that maybe there was some underlying tension there about getting engaged. So we kind of just left them to it, wandered over to a little bench to celebrate together. And then as soon as we saw them walking towards us, we ran away because we just didn't want to carry on the awkward moment.
I like how you say celebrate together. It was more so that rest my jelly-like legs.
Oh my goodness, you were a mess.
The nerves.
So yeah, that opened up our next season of relationship, which was engaged life.
Yeah, so during our engagement, obviously a big part of it is planning our wedding. We got engaged around end of March, and we started looking at dates, what would work with our calendars. Obviously, Yinka being in Sweden and as a teacher, it was quite difficult to find dates that would work. But we settled on the 27th of October. We found a church, we found a venue. The church had a reception hall that we could have a reception in. And it was, everything could just kind of start to falling into place. We had the help of so many people in our church, in our families, people that just really, really wanted to help. You were even all the way in Sweden doing something pretty spectacular, weren't you?
Yeah, so Lawrence had to do most of the wedding planning. I decided to do something I could do from a distance, which was to make my wedding dress. So that was my main priority over those 7 months we were engaged.
You were also finishing your masters as well.
Yeah,
which was...
so actually the masters was until a month before we got married.
Yeah.
So I kind of had a month to make the wedding dress, but it didn't fall apart walking down the aisle, so we're all good.
It looked great. It was such a great day. The ceremony was amazing, really, really nice. And then the reception, we had a lot of our friends perform in an open mic, which was really, really cool. We have so many talented friends. And we had our sort of like afternoon tea themes. We have lots of cakes and scones and obviously tea and coffee. But then we went off and got changed, came back in our Nigerian outfits, didn't we? Had a bit of a Nigerian feast, Nigerian dance.
Had a bit of an English-Nigerian fusion wedding, so that was good fun.
Yeah, it was really good fun. And I think a lot of my family really enjoyed it because it wasn't something that they'd ever been a part of before, like nothing they had seen before. So I'm really glad that we were able to do that. And then 2 days after our wedding, we jumped on a plane, well technically to Denmark, but to move me to Sweden, didn't we? Yeah,
so it was amazing to finally have Lawrence with me in Sweden after almost 1.5 years there without him. I had already found an apartment, so we moved in there together, and it was just bizarre seeing him every day. I think when everyone asked us, how's married life, it was hard to know what was good about being married and what was just good about being in the same country because it had been so long. But of course, married life was great. We really enjoyed hosting people, we found. As much as it's nice to obviously be together, we really enjoyed inviting people into our home. And Lawrence had really polished his cooking skills since we first met and was now the best breakfast chef ever. So that was one of our favourite activities, was kind of having a group of people around for breakfast on Saturdays, and we'd cook this giant fry up with pancakes, and it was just amazing. So yes, best chef. I feel like I'm going to mention his cooking skills a lot because I didn't expect to marry someone who could cook, and it's a huge advantage. Life in Sweden was really great. We loved it there, we really did. We made a really good group of friends there. There was a slight issue that Lawrence did work quite late, so he tended to come home around 9:30 at night, and my bedtime was and is still 10 p.m. So we only had a tiny bit of time together each evening, but we did make the most of it. We still got to date, even if they were mini dates. We obviously saw each other on the weekends for longer. And I think because of that, that was something we were looking forward to changing coming out to Hong Kong. So it's been great that we've had so much time together since we've moved here. We had 8 months of life like that in Sweden, and now we've had almost 3 months in Hong Kong. Wow, that's flown by. And I think just having him teaching as well, we have quite interesting stories to compare at the end of the day.
They're quite different.
They are quite different.
Well, teaching the 5-year-olds.
He teaches the mini ones and I teach the older ones.
Yeah.
So it's just been a really interesting new chapter, despite the fact that I would still say we're newlyweds. This Hong Kong chapter has felt very different to our Swedish chapter.
Yeah, for sure.
We're just excited to see where it continues to take us and where we continue to grow to after this first year of marriage.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was a really brief snapshot of our relationship since we met. Let us know if you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions at all about anything that happened along the way, please do leave a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.
Bye!